Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly, Marie Gray's daughter, and it is my pleasure to tell you a little bit about my mother, Marie. For the record, she was born in Belgrade, Serbia, when it was still part of Yugoslavia. My grandfather, who worked in hotel management, had taken a job there soon after he married my grandmother. The family lived in Slovenia during World War II, and when the Iron Curtain dropped, they escaped over the mountains to Austria in the middle of the night. My mother was 9 years old and crossed the border alone. A few years later, they immigrated to Canada, and the owner of the Brown Derby came to the hotel that my grandfather was working at, and he offered him a job at the Brown Derby. And so they moved to Los Angeles, where my mom almost instantaneously became a successful model. She was on the Queen for a Day show. She worked for Max Factor. So she had a very successful modeling career, but those threads of her early beginning are what define her today. She still is a very humble person. She still strives to create things of the finest quality because those are the things that she did not have as a child. And that's the DNA that makes up her success today. In her mid-teens, she dreamt of being an opera singer, but ended up becoming a fashion model. She says she remembers few details of those early years, but some of these pictures tell their own vivid story of the special moments of her early life. In 1962, my mom set out to sell the one and only dress that she had ever made. Fueled by ambition and intuitive sense of style, my mom and dad worked to realize the simple dream they shared, to sell enough dresses at retail to get married and honeymoon in Hawaii. The rest is a business fairy tale. At that time, my parents had no idea that they were laying the foundation for what would become the international fashion phenomenon known as St. John. In hindsight, it's no surprise that my mom became one of the world's greatest designers. You'll see the beautiful gowns that she and her mother created on the floor of their living room, usually the night of the dance. My mom and my grandmother made every important piece of clothing she wore for her first dance all the way through her wedding day. So you could say the quality was in her DNA. My mother had never intended to be a fashion model. She aspired to be the best wife in the world. And in doing so, her thought and desire to save their family money on beautiful clothing inspired she and my father to start a business which would ultimately grow to a $400 million company called St. John. The way she treated all her employees as extended families, fought for better pay, fought for more insurance, fought for their lifestyles to be improved. At that time, that was 4,000 people. I can remember having conversations at the dinner table over the life and quality of life of the 4,000 people we considered to be our extended family. Through her constant effort to do the right thing by others, to be the best in her industry, she was able to rise to a level that only few women in the world have achieved. And she has always given back. That is who my mother is, a woman who gives back to the church, to the community. She cares about the future. I'm so proud to introduce my mother, Marie Gray, this year's recipient of the Bishop's Award for Exemplary Business Integrity.
This is truly, truly amazing. Thank you, Bishop Van. Thank you, honorees and important guests, my family, and all of you who got up so early to be here. This is very, very humbling, and I'm somewhat speechless at the moment, but I'm sure I'll recover in a minute. When I thought about what I could talk to you about this morning, I always go back to our beginnings. And our company was very small, and it was Christmas time. And we had a very huge, unfortunate news from one of our big department stores. They were canceling the order, which we were just getting ready to ship. And we were devastated, and we knew we wouldn't be getting paid for all this merchandise that we produced. And so we had to scramble to figure out how to meet our payroll. And the saddest part was that we had to tell our employees that we couldn't have a Christmas party for them. So they decided to surprise us anyways, and each person brought their favorite dish from their country. And it was an amazing party. And the feeling of the fact that they cared about us was so great that it stayed with me through our successes and the rest of the years. And we always had a Christmas party. And they got bigger and bigger. And in the end, there were so many employees, we had to actually split them up and let them have their own parties in their own areas. And that was a sad moment because I couldn't look out and see all of them there. You know, it doesn't really matter, it didn't really matter what a great design I did and how fabulous it was. What really, really mattered was all of those employees who actually worked there, and from the lowest job to the highest level executives, they're the ones that made it happen, and they're the ones that helped us over the years, day in and day out, to be able to live our dream. And I've had a great career, and I have a beautiful, loving family, and I'm here to receive this award. And what I really like to do is share this with all of the thousands of employees who spend a lifetime helping us live our dream. So on behalf of all of them, I thank you for being here and allowing me to have this really incredible moment and memory. Thank you so much.